He's wondering what our opinion is of Coyote fur sporrans. He remembers us mentioning in the past that rabbit pelt has a problem with shedding. He was wondering about Coyote because while it's actually very affordable as a pelt, it looks pretty decent. Does it have the same shedding problem? How can you tell what furs are good and what are bad for shedding?
Yeah. I wanted to do a little bit of research, so I called our sporran maker over in Scotland, talked to him, so I'm going to throw him under the bus. If this stuff is wrong,
Sorry,
he
Greg.
agreed with me, so he had some strong suspicions, but he wanted to talk to a tannery or someone who treats the skins, the hair fur, the fur and stuff, to make sure that he was correct, but he felt this way. Rabbit fur sporrans tend to shed a bit more over time than most other furs. We're trying to figure out why that was. One, it could be the quality of the tanning or the treatment of the fur when they're actually producing it and selling the actual fur pelts. How well is it done? Second thing, rabbit fur tends to be softer and finer than a lot of other furs.
Okay.
So it's easier for, as you're touching it, for the fur to fall out over time. Third is, the softer the sporran, a lot of guys tend to just sit there and kind of like play with the tassels or touch the sporran fur, or it depends on what it's rubbing against. I'm joking, but I'm not joking.
Yeah, I get you.
If like I'm guilty of it when I have my my mink sporran. I find myself just sitting there like playing with the tassels at a formal dinner. Like, this looks very, very odd. I shouldn't be doing this, but I can't stop myself. Or it depends on like if it's the sides of the sporran are rubbing against your kilt. How old is the sporran?
Right.
So it can be affected. That can have an effect on it. Another thing I would say is the age of the sporran and the dryness of the leather. If you think about it, on a very, very basic level, the fur from a sporran is hair. It's the top layer of skin plus the hair coming out of it. So as the sporran and as the leather ages and gets older, it kind of dries up a little bit, and the follicles that are holding the hairs could kind of relax a little bit and get a little bit bigger as they kind of shrink away from the hair. So as they shrink away from the hair, it's easier for the hair to come out.
Okay.
So for all those reasons, I'd say that finer hairs are probably worse, i.e. rabbit fur, but coarser hair, denser hair is probably going to be better for it. The only other thing we kind of touched on was water animals potentially versus land animals. Water animals tend to have more like sheen to the fur, and it tends to be like in there better and more water repellent type properties to keep the leather oilier, for lack of a better term, over time. That's why sealskin is so hard wearing. That's why musquash is another hard wearing one, even though it's soft and has a nice sheen to it, and it's a bushier fur compared to sealskin, but it still wears better over time than rabbit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
These are all things that I kind of think about or believe to be true. Occam's razor, it's probably true. I don't have a degree in taxidermy, so I can't say 1,000%, but I would say I'm 95% to 98% positive with my answers.
Okay, makes sense. So so you think Coyote would be okay?
Yeah,
relatively?
I think Coyote would be fine from an
Reminds
aspect
me of fox.
Yeah,
So-
fox, coyote, raccoon, they're all a more dense fur, more wiry, a little bit thicker. I would see that working better for it than a thinner, more fine hair. Yeah.
So no cat.
Cat, no.
Okay.
No. That'd be very, very creepy. I think Jim Diener should make a sporran out
Inside
of
joke.
one of his cats.
Yes. Inside joke.
Yes.
Cool.
We do not condone killing of cats for sporrans. But if the cat passes of natural causes and you really, really love it, maybe.
Full mask on. That's the meta. That's the dark meta of the kitten in a sporran joke. Yeah.